And subscribe to our new YouTube page, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so every time we upload a video you will see us. What it is, Miss Tammy Love, y'all come on, let us know where you from. Welcome my CP gang. It's time to have a conversation. What is going on? Look at my folks on here. Look, come on, y'all all right? Praise the Lord, saints. These babies looking cultured. Y'all see these babies? We are doing the back to school edition. Remember, if y'all have any requests, there's any shows that you would like to see us do, you can email us at rareimage26@gmail.com. If you would like to sponsor, and yes, sow a seed for you saints, you can send us a cash app at #rareimage26. That's it. #rareimage26. We are so blessed to have you guys here. As you know, we are on part 2 of our back to school edition, and we have some wonderful guests. Me and my brother, and CEO, was so pushed to speak on back to school. We know school is back in session, and we do have some seniors that are on their way to college, and we really wanted to speak with some of our college students that have graduated and are just being a part of back in the workforce. They have graduated and they're back in the workforce, and want to speak to them just to give some of our college students that look back on our shows just some preparedness. We need them to be prepared for what's going on, what life is like, because sometimes we have a conception or a thought process about what it's supposed to look like, and when it's different, it blows us out the water. So if you guys would, from my top right, can you please just introduce yourself, tell us what school you went to and what is your profession?
Hello, my name is Asiana Woolford. I attended the University of Memphis for undergrad, and currently I am a graduate student at the University of Memphis studying clinical mental health counseling. And I also work as I guess you would say, a worker at the Early Learning and Research Center on campus for children.
Oh, nice. Next, Miss Kayla, as Shamar get his thing going together.
Hello, I'm Kayla Glenna. I graduated from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville with my Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry with a minor in psychology. And right now my profession is professional job searcher.
That's it. That's all right. We be searching. Praise God. But what are you back in school again? Are you getting ready to enroll back in school?
I want to go back in August.
Okay. So I don't know where Shamar went. I think he's trying to get something done. But I am so first of all, I'm excited for the both of you being here, because it's nothing like seeing, our own push towards their dreams and do what they're supposed to, what I'm saying, what they're called to do. You may be searching for a job right now, but it ain't too many of you walking around, Kayla. So you are going to get a job. Now, you may have to come out of Tennessee. Oh, he's back. Oh, praise the Lord. Come on, Bishop. Speak to the people on today.
Hello, I'm Shamar Bufford. I went to Murray State University. I currently now work at St. Louis University as an admission counselor, working and serving students in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Georgia.
Come through. Come on, you better. I would go to school just because he came to me. I'm just saying. That baby is professional. I like that kind of carrying on. Come on. So you got people in the comments like, yes. Yes, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. I was just saying how proud of you guys we are to see y'all go towards, because you hear so much negative when it comes to the youth today. It's good to see that you guys actually put forth the effort, you put something in your mind and you accomplished it. A little bit what we were talking. Can y'all tell me, when you first went to college, what were your expectations and what did you really get when you entered into college? And anybody can start.
I'll go first. Graduating in 2017, hearing a lot of students or hearing a lot of my friends say, oh, college is going to be great. And then hearing a lot of people say, oh, you're going to Murray State, that's a party school. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm looking for a school that is going to give me my education, but everyone else sees it as a party school. Got there, and honestly, that was not how Murray State presented itself, and that's not how it was. I was like, yes, there's a party here and there, but for me, it was more of that development in my friends and figuring out where I fit in on that campus. So I had Racer Band to really guide me in that position of finding my friends. But after that, it was a really difficult transition because I was the firstborn, so I'm mama's baby, and I kind of missed home a little bit. But I found those friends who pushed me in the right direction and was like, okay, let's go do these things. Let's get out. Let's go do this. And I think that was the biggest thing that I could have from college was finding those people that fit me in my circle.
That's so good. That's so good. Either one of you guys could go, and then I'll go last.
Okay.
Oh, you want to go?
You want to go?
I'll let you go first, and then I'll
Okay, you got it. I really didn't have many expectations for college just because I didn't really have like a lot of family members that went or anything. And my school was like very different from my sister's school. So I really didn't know what to expect, but I thought it was going to be fun. It was not. I was in the library 12 hours a day. Like it wasn't. It was very different from what I expected. Like I was always really good at school. I never had to study much or nothing. Tried that. It went don't fly in college. So I really had to like completely reevaluate everything that I thought I had knew about school.
Right. Wow.
And then I would say for me, going into college, coming out of high, let me start off with coming out of high school. I remember I went to Humboldt High School, and it was a very small town. I'm pretty sure most people on here are familiar with Humboldt. Humboldt's a very small town. And so I graduated valedictorian in my class in 2017. And so, but my school was pretty small. Like it was a class of, I think 70, 78 at the most for our graduating class. And so I just had this constant fear going into college that I wasn't going to be good enough. I thought that I come from a small town, and yes, I'm number one, but number one out of what? 70 something compared to like these people who went to schools with classes of 200, 300, 400 students in their graduating class. And so for me, freshman year was just a lot of feeling like I needed to prove myself, going that extra mile. I was a psych major, so apparently I didn't even need to be in the library as much as I was. Didn't know, like if you ask anybody about psych, everybody's majoring in psych. So I didn't know, like, maybe you don't have to be, but I was always in the library. I was always studying. And then one day I just came to this realization. I was sitting in class one day, and there were white male students in the class with me. The classroom sizes were huge. And I remember the professor talking about a paper that we had just did. And he was like, some of the grades, like they were a little off. And, one of the students was like, well, so he was asking, us like, what's going on? And my grade was fine. Mine was top tier. Hearing from the other students in the class, just hearing like, and they're coming from like Collierville High, like schools with money, with funds, and they're just like, we didn't really like learn, like we didn't learn how to write papers for real. Like we could just get by. And so not realizing that, I was fighting so hard to like prove my worth my freshman year and showing that like something good can come out of Humboldt, and come to find out like I was right where I needed to be. So it ended up turning into me being very grateful for where I came from and the things that my school had sent me to the University of Memphis with, and had equipped me, the people in my community, the way that they had equipped me also with scholarships and things. Like I didn't think I had enough money. Like I thought, I was going to be drowning, and then hearing friends saying how much debt they were in, and me coming in with my little scholarship that my communities, put together for me. So it was just a lot of feelings of inadequacy at first, but over time realizing that, girl, you got it. You're going to be all right. And
right.
Well prepared.
Right. I love that. I love the fact that you was transparent with that, because a lot of times, to be honest, it does not matter where you come from. There's always a sense of, where do I fit? Okay, you're searching. You really don't know your identity, because up until this moment, it's whatever your mama say. It's whatever whoever's around you. They sort of, mold you to be who you're supposed to be. And now you have the opportunity to create who you want to be. And that can be overwhelming. And nobody told me. I was very sheltered when I went to school. Like, we wasn't allowed to spend the night at cousin's house. I don't know their mama, and I don't know they dad. If y'all not going to their house. And so I was very sheltered. So my first year, I was just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Who are these people? What are they doing? And so I love the fact that you're transparent about the feeling of being inadequate, because what we all need to understand is all of us bring something to the table. And if you realize that at a very early moment, it will keep you from making those big mistakes of fitting in places where you don't fit, but you just want to be somewhere. Can y'all guys tell me, how did you guys, because y'all was in college during the pandemic, and so tell me how the pandemic affected you guys, because I don't think, everybody was going through their own thing at the pandemic. I don't think they really worried about, the students that were graduating from high school, they couldn't have a prom, a proper graduation. Even those that finally graduated from college, Shamar, I think I remember y'all had a storm and we couldn't even come see y'all graduate. And I was just like, I wondered, what kind of impact did that have on them? So y'all just, Shamar, we can go with you, because I see you got something to say. I feel it in my spirit.
So starting off with the pandemic, it was a big conversation, and we had literally just went on fall break. So I was like, yes, spring break. I'm sorry. It was spring break. And I was like, yes, I get to go to spring break. We're celebrating my friend's birthday. And we shut down the building and we go to Louisville. And the next thing we know, we received an email that said, hey, we need all RAs to return to campus. We are actually going to shut down school. In that exact moment, I was frustrated. I was angry. I was hurt. And to say the least, I was just really upset. Like, not even kidding you, I was angry. I was like, why does this have to happen? I was a junior. My two best friends had already decided that they wouldn't be coming back. One would be graduating. So I was really upset. So we come back, have all the students move out. And I remember calling my mom and being frustrated with her, because she was like, I just think it's time for you to come home. And in my head, we always thinking, we're like, oh, our parents are just saying this stuff just to be saying this stuff because they want us home. And I started crying. I was upset. It's not that I didn't want to be home. It was the connection and being around those friends constantly.
Right.
And I was hurt. I went home. I felt like I did homework 24/7. Professors were trying to find something for us to do, whether that was write a paper or read books and write something on it. And it was really tough, because I was like, where's that connectivity that I need? I'm a people's person. Where are those people for me? And that was the frustrating part, is because not being around people, mom saying, well, you got to wear a mask everywhere you go. You can't do this. You can't go here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I hear the word can't or you're not, I'm going to blow. it was like I was upset. Like it was just frustrating because that's all I kept hearing. You can't. We're loan lockdown. We're doing this. And I remember my brother being a senior, and he's like, this is not fair. I don't get a prom. I don't get this. But then in my head, I was thinking, well, y'all are about to get all these scholarships, class of 2020, multiple full rides because they went through a time where nothing was open. And I was like, man, if this was 2017, could I just get this full ride to wherever I want to go? I was like, that was the upsetting part because I wanted to be there. I wanted to be just like them. But then when the tornado hit for me after graduating, I saw how they felt in that transition of having something stripped away that you have worked so hard for. And it was upsetting. But also I realized that if it did not happen, none of the doors would have opened that I have now. I wouldn't have been able to go to a job interview a week after graduating. I wouldn't have said, oh, I got a job right after I graduated. So it's like, it's upsetting, but sometimes I realize like the process that you have to go through to get there, it sucks sometimes, but I was happy to get where I am. I was like, you know what? And then I went to St. Louis and my friends threw me a graduation party. So I was like, you know, it's I didn't graduate. Hey, I got a job. You know, I'm fine.
I love that. I love the quiet after the storm sort of mindset because, you know, when you in something, we do not see what that outcome is going to be. It's just like, I'm right here right now. And then we don't put ourselves in other people's shoes and we get sort of selfish, like unbeknownst to us, we just like, why this and why that? And not knowing that it's all a setup. Everything that happens is a setup. And I'm just like, my mind is blown, like with just listening to all of you guys, the maturity that has happened, because what happens when you are locked down? Just think about a bottle of wine. The longer it's locked down, the more mature it becomes. And you guys, although you were locked down in a space, there was a level of maturity and thought process that had to happen in order for you to push past what was going on. Because some people literally did go crazy. They fully grown, been working for a long time, and they went crazy. So I love the way the maturity happened in the wait. I do love that.
I was like, I did mature, but I did go crazy, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yes,
I can go next. So for me, the pandemic, it really hit in the nick of time for me. I think I was always on go, always like, what can I do? What do I need to be doing? Like always, all the time. Always in the library, like it was a thing. I was always on go. And so once the pandemic hit, at first it was a tad scary. It was very scary. I'll be honest. It was very scary. And I didn't know what to expect. But over time, I started to settle into it. And I'm like, this actually isn't that bad. Like I was always going to class, always there, you know, rushing to get to classes. I'm always late. I'm like a late nature person. But rushing to get to class, but I was always there. They can't say I wasn't there. So when the pandemic hit, classes like were canceled and they were like not canceled, but transition into virtual classes. The thing that I didn't know I needed, like that was something. And then that was a blessing that came out of that. And then it also hit like junior year, starting getting toward my senior year. And so I think I worried because I was like, I need an internship. How am I going to be out in the field? God was making ways out of ways out of ways. Okay. When I tell you I was able to get a internship during at the end of my junior year, like he was just opening door after door, just confirming like, I need you to rest. Like I need you to relax. I need you to slow down. I don't want you burnt out. Like I need you, you know, to be at premium capacity for whenever the next, I guess whatever is next for you hits. And so for me, it was very refreshing, honestly. And then like I was a resident advisor, like I said, always doing something. So resident advisor, and then like all of my residents started to move out. And that was like, okay, like I hate to say it, but that was a blessing. They got They told us RAs we couldn't go. They said we had to stay just in case we had residents that wanted to stay. And so I had to stay. And then So that was kind of harsh to hear. But then my residents started leaving. I'm like, wait a minute now. And then my friends stayed. They didn't want to go home. Most of my friends were from Memphis, so they didn't want to go home. So I had my crew with me, an empty hallway. I could work from my room. So for the most part, I was living during the pandemic. For the most part, it was just toward the end. I know I started to get a little stir crazy being around the same people, looking at the same four walls. Like I got sick of it. My job constantly asking us to do stuff throughout the pandemic. Like we weren't like it wasn't a safety hazard, but and then I would say, I think, yeah, for the most part, it was pretty good for me. Other than that last part, I said, hold up, Lord, when is it going to be over? But for the most part, it was pretty good.
That's good to hear. It's a different perspective. Kayla?
I feel like the pandemic really changed everything. It felt like we was finally getting to the groove. We finally had figured out what to do. And then they sent me home for spring break and I never came back to campus. It was like I'm a chemistry major. You can't do chemistry on the internet. It was hard. They had us doing virtual labs. We had to pretend like we was pouring stuff in beakers. I can't read them numbers on them little pictures. Nothing was making sense. Like nothing was making sense. The professors, they was trying to figure it out while we was trying to figure it out, and we was all lost. Like the pandemic was really hard. Grades was dropping, but I bounced back. Still got the degree. But
come through.
Yeah, yeah, it was really hard. I don't know, but it made me. It really helped me to learn how to manage my time better when we did end up back in person. Because I don't know what the professors was on, but like Shamar said, them assignments was coming in when we was in that pandemic. They had so much for us to do. You had to go to class, you had to watch lecture videos, you had to take notes, then you had to do the assignments, then you got exams. It was just a lot. But when I came back in person, it made it easier to manage everything better and be more organized.
That's so good. They was trying to make sure y'all stay engaged because they didn't want y'all to drop out during the pandemic. But chemistry is hard to me by itself. So you trying to do it online. I can only imaginary beacons, baby. I can't. I don't know nothing about no imaginary.
Ain't that big.
No, it is not that big. But I love conversations like this because each person took the pandemic a totally different way. And for me, I know the pandemic was straight. It was straight because I got my rest. A lot of people was asking for things and didn't realize what they were asking for. God, I just need a few days off. I just need, and then you got a whole month. Some of them, for me,
that's why I gotta be specific.
You got be specific. Baby.
He be playing.
He's a comedian, baby. Say what you want. He's a comedian, and he gonna give you what you say because you didn't say it right. And so for me, the pandemic was a transition because now I work from home. That's what I do. They figured out, we can get y'all to work and spend less money. Okay, let's keep y'all at home, which transitioned me to move. So there is you just never know why things happen the way that it does, but you have to know. And of course, we church around here. Everything is working out for the good. For sure, if you allow and you rest in his bosom, knowing that he has you in whatever goes on, know that he's working behind the scenes and he's doing something especially for you because just going through that whole transition, a lot of people didn't know themselves, understand, because when you go, you don't have that time to reflect and to think and to, because it made me think my whole friend structure. I was just like, who are these people? Like, why am I hanging out with them again? Like, you got to see people at their realness. It was no more, how the real world, the show says, the real world, it gets real after, baby, it got real. People showed their true colors during the pandemic because they got to the point where, I'm at home, relax, baby. You got to relax. You showed me yourself. So it was all good. It was a revealing, and what I see is a revealing of excellence in each one of you guys. And you can hear it. It's just in your language, in your conversation. Shamar, Kayla, I've been knowing y'all since y'all was a little bitty. And, you can have thoughts about children. Oh, that child right there going to do this and that child going to do that. But to supersede what you can even think or fathom, that's God. That's a whole God thing. And I know that it could be scary, especially coming from a small town. I mean, Jackson ain't that much bigger than Humboldt. It's just a bigger circle. That's it. It's a circle. But the mentality is small a lot in that area for a lot of people. So to even, push past that, what would you say to those that are transitioning now? It's their first year in college. They are in a new place. Some of these people, like you say, you felt inadequate, and they're in the big towns for the first time, and it's like overwhelming them. Like, I'm on the phone like, oh God, you can do it. But what can you give them to help them push past a feeling of being overwhelmed? Anybody?
I'll go.
You always the first, President.
I know. So this is the thing with me. So now that I work in the recruitment aspect of getting students to a college, I see the transition every time. Being an RA, I was able to see that transition. I worked in the Office of Admission at first, and then I became a residential advisor. And at that point, I saw how things worked. It looks a little different, but having a brother that just went off to college, and he's right there beside me, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to stay in your apartment while you're going to watch the dog. And I'm like, no. The one thing that I can say that will open your eyes, that will help you find your niche, find your place, is be willing to try. If you can try, you're going to get somewhere, because there's a lot of things in trying than rather you just sitting and being still. Being still is good at some moments, however, but if you try to get out, if you try to make friends, after a while, that trying is going to be an accomplishment. You're going to be able to go forward. You're going to find those friends. You're going to find that group that you belong in. Trying, getting active. Now, if you are a person that is not talkative, find those clubs that require less talking and more action. Whether that is chess, whether that is checkers, whether that is singing. You ain't got to talk. You can just sing. Those are your moments to express who you are. People begin to learn who you are. Now, college is different for every student. St. Louis University is totally different than Murray State. And I still tell my students, try, because it opens you up to new doors. Najee is having such a, it's hard for him because he likes himself. He knows himself so well. But I want him to try to get out and make those friends, because those students are there. There are people who are wanting to reach out and be a part of him and make him a part of them, but he has to try that aspect of it. And I think that's a lot that happens with students who are transitioning to college, because you come from a town where everybody knows everybody, or you're from a big city. I'm from Humboldt, grew up in Jackson, so I know both sides of how that works. But people who are coming from like Chicago or St. Louis, and they're going to University of Memphis, or they're going to UT Knox, those cities, you don't know them, try them, because they're like, literally, I had so much fun in a small town. It was great. Murray did me justice.
I like it. Why I hear a song, pick yourself up and try again. Pick yourself up and try again. Hey, I heard that while you were talking. I was just like, that's it. That's a big, you have to be, I tell them, you have to be open. You cannot go in there closed-minded, judgy. Get away from the judgy, because baby, my friends was the Motley Crew, baby. You never know who I was with, baby. I'm just, because I developed a love for people. And not for, I'm not judging what you do outside of me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Long as it don't infringe upon my rights or get me arrested. Other than that, we can be friends. I'm cool with you. You cool with me. Don't be disrespectful. But other than that, we good. We are good. What you say about it, Kayla?
I think you really just got to find your people. Like, no matter what you're interested in, no matter what you like, there is a club for you. There are so many clubs on college campuses, no matter what it is. Like, I used to see clubs for the craziest things. I'm like, people meet for that? But, yeah.
Come on, Delta. You pledged, didn't you?
You know, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But
Yes, baby.
whether it's a sorority though, or like I was in a lot of clubs. I was in the Black Student Union. I was in the Undergraduate Forensic Science Club. In some of my clubs, I was the only Black person. Some of my clubs, it was only Black people. So it just really depends on what you interested in.
And I would say just try, like, just give it your best. Like, try, like you were saying, try, give it your best. I think there's a quote that's like, aim for the, I think like aim for the stars or something like that, shoot for the sky, and like at least you might like fall into the stars, something like that. Like, just try. And I think that was like something that worked for me. Like, I was aiming for the A. Now I ended up getting the A because that's where I was aiming for. But you know, even if I didn't, like, I realized like if I'm at least aiming for an A, the worst that I can do, you know, it probably won't be that bad. Like, it's not gonna be that bad. You know, you still might make it out with a C and still be satisfied with that. So it's like, do the best that you can, and then like do the best that you can and just give it a try. Like, that's really all you can do. When it comes to people, like you were saying, like Kayla was saying, find your people group, because that's going to make you want to stay. Like, that's going to make you want to stick it out. Having people there in your corner to encourage you and let you know that it's all right. I struggle to be able to see somebody in their daily struggle as well. It's very helpful sometimes, very encouraging. And then if you find out that you're the only one, now that's the only thing I'll add about people though. If you find out you're the only one in your people group that is really trying, you might need to go find another group. That's the only other thing that I would add. I've seen a lot of freshmen get caught up with that. Friend out of friend through their group, out of the group that they found, dropping out. And then, you know, of course, they end up getting discouraged by that. Like, no, don't let that discourage you. There's plenty more people out there for you to connect with that will keep you on track and on mission and on purpose.
That's so good. And let me say this, because if you were anything like me, you don't fit nowhere. Okay. You get along with everybody, but you don't fit nowhere because your path is on another level. And I want to encourage that one because I know Shamar is one. I know for sure he called to another spiritual level. And so I know he had a hard time with that. Because there were some things that some days he wanted to do, but his spirit wouldn't let him. And you know, that can be really challenging. I want to say, but this is the key thing about resting in who you are and being okay, because there is a group of people that need who you are, who you are called to be. And that was my issue. I wasn't rested in who I was. I tried to recreate myself several times and it never worked. And when you recreate yourself, you draw a whole separate group of people that just shows you further that this is not you. And it gets irritating. And I got caught up in trying to recreate myself all the time because I wanted to prove people wrong. And I wanted to prove, that whole proving thing, like you said at the beginning, that was big because when you go into something, whether it's weight loss, whether it's school, when you go into something trying to prove instead of just being who you called to be, like that, you will run your course. There is, like the Bible says, see it run its course. Trying to be something that you're not, or trying to prove other people wrong, is going to run its course. Because at the end of the day, whether you succeed or fail, people are going to say what they want. They're gonna say what they want. They're gonna feel about you how they want to feel. So I am very encouraged just to hear you guys, because I wish I had been my friends, because I was not level-headed. But my journey was different. So but I was not level-headed, and I'm still thinking about going back to school. Shamar, you want to recruit me? You can recruit me? Yeah. I'm thinking about going back to school because I'm a lot more settled. And I just want, as a leader now, I want to make sure that every child that I come in contact with is settled in themselves enough. Maybe a 4-year college is not them, I want them to understand it and not feel less than, because a lot of times, can y'all tell me, did y'all have any, I know several of you guys say, you know, you didn't have people in your family that went to college before. Did any of you guys feel pressured, and was that part of the struggle at the beginning? Was the pressure you felt like that was from, you know, whether it was parents or people that you know believed in you? Did any of you guys feel that struggle, and what was the struggle in your mind?
The struggle for me was not for my family, like because my mama has always been very supportive. My mom went to college; she got her master's degree, so she did it so that I could have some, you know, I could have somebody to see doing it. And getting it done. And so my mom, she got her degree, and it's so funny though, because I really like don't really remember that process. I know she gets really mad at me for that, because I never really remember her process anyway. And I'd be like, dang, I feel like I'm like, but anyway, it was more from my community for me. I felt the pressure from my teachers, my community members, literally my classmates' parents. Like it really did feel like I had to do something spectacular. And it was so funny because I remember people telling me like, apply to Spelman, apply to this, apply to that. And I'm just like, whoa, like, wait a minute. I don't even know where I want to go. We used to have this chart in the hall that had all these different schools on it, like of where students apply, like of where you could apply to. And I remember like, I was like, I don't know where I want to go. I was so fearful and just so scared that I didn't even really apply to many places. I think they had a day where we were all supposed to apply to go to Bethel, like just because, just because. And like I didn't even finish that application. Like it was just stuff like that. That was
Wow.
very, very like I was that scared, but nobody really knew. And so of course I have all of these people shouting out, this is what you should do. This is where you should go. And I wanted to make it because I'm like, I'm who they're rooting for, essentially. And so I was like, I gotta do something. And so I remember applying for the University of Memphis. And I was like, I remember thinking like, this is gonna be so underwhelming for people. I said, but this feels right to me. And I didn't apply anywhere else. Like I didn't apply anywhere else. I said, this is where I want to go. And this feels right to me. And the embarrassment from only having the 1 star for the University of Memphis under my name, like out of all the possibilities, only having that, and just remember trying to think of what other people would think about it. But
Wow.
that pressure, that's what I felt. The fact that I had to be the one to make it.
Wow. Wow. And it's funny that you say, oh, the embarrassment, the 1 star. But some people have no stars. They didn't even apply at all. And it's that goes to show you, like, I don't think people understand because I know for me, when I didn't apply for colleges until like the last 6 weeks of school, I think. And I just went to the one that accepted me. I'm being honest. I'm being honest because I didn't even know if I wanted to go. Like my mind wasn't even in school at that moment. And I didn't even know if I wanted to go, but I was voted most likely to succeed.
Want to get you?
What?
It'll get you. It will really get into your head.
I
It
didn't even
will.
go to class reunion because I was living in the projects and I didn't feel like I succeeded. And I was working at McDonald's at the time. I was just like, I cannot go back. It's most likely to succeed working at McDonald's, staying in the projects. I can't do it. And I didn't. I didn't go. I'm just saying. I had to put that out there. I didn't go, y'all. Don't be like me. I'm just saying. I didn't go. Go, Shamar. I saw you talking next. Go
um, so I think I can relate to what you just said on being that student. It wasn't that I felt pressure. I knew that there was something that I needed to do. It was not a mindset of like, I got to do this for everybody else. However, as a man who sometimes looks at himself as the man of his household, I knew my brothers and sisters would see me. And I was like, I don't want them to see someone who did not get started or who didn't finish. So that was what was in my head constantly. My mom kept saying, and I was always told when I was younger, when I started going to church, you are destined for greater. You're going to go. We believe full rides. That's the thing that kept going from church. And it was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. But this is the thing. I did exactly like other people said I would do. I would apply just to see if I got in. I was not interested. I just want to see if I could do it. I just need to see those acceptance letters on my wall. That's all I need to see.
I think you and PJ got the same syndrome. Y'all would put out applications for no reason, just to see if you can.
Just to see if I could. And in those amount of times, I did get several full rides, but I didn't choose any of them because I had already placed my mind on one school of being like, this is where I want to go. And I went to that one school, and I remember going on campus with my mom, my TT Cheryl, PJ, and me, and we walked on campus, and I was like, yep, this is where I'm at. This is me. But the one thing I can say, out of doing what I had to do for my brothers, my family has been the biggest aspect of me. And it wasn't even that I felt pressure. It was I didn't want to let them down. Having multiple brothers, having multiple sisters, having a family that is dependent on the women in our family was, something that I was like, wow, I have these strong women in my family. I need a male to do this. I need a male to help the situation because it's not just up to women to take care of the nation. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to help mama. I'm going to go to school.
Come on, bars. He got bars.
I'm not gonna, go to school and just be all about smart. It's gonna be about my mom. She helped me through it all. It's gonna be about my aunt. It's gonna be about my grandma. And those were the people that other people would say, oh, that's pressure. To me, that was my motivation. I didn't feel like I was pushed to keep being pushed. It was more of like, you go at your own pace. And that's exactly how I felt throughout that process.
I'm glad you said go at your own pace, because there was one thing, and Lily, you need to meet Lily, Miss Wilford, because y'all are on like the same wave space.
Come here, Lily.
Come on. Come through, Lily. Come through, Lily. Yes, we got him in here tonight. It was one thing that they said that remember, I think it was Lily and Gabby was saying that you have to remember school. And that shit, Lily. Y'all are on the same
nice to meet you. My name is Asiana Wolford. Very nice to meet you.
Y'all need to talk, Lily. Y'all souls are the same. One thing that Lily and Gabby said last week is to remember that school is not a race, but it was, what was it, Lily? It's not a race, but it was a marathon.
Yes.
There it is. It's not a race, but it's a marathon. And so, in our minds, sometimes people put it in us like, you got to get through with your 4 years. And some people go to school forever. And especially if you're going to be a doctor or something, maybe they be in school most of their life. They only get to work less than half their life because most of their time is in school. But, that really, if somebody had said, Joe, this is not a race, it's a marathon, I probably would have, went on and succeeded. And I still may go back, who knows?
But Joe, it's funny you say that because the race, it's you're paying attention to what's going on around you. You see people you came into school with and you're like, we all got to graduate at the same time. And you think it's high school of being like, we must graduate in those 4 years together. It's not. People get done or they finish that marathon when they get ready. It's that I have the time, I can. Because if you push yourself, there's something you forget along the way. There's something you drop. There's something you leave behind. And I took 4.5 years to graduate. Did I want to do that 4 years? I did, but I realized that I wasn't ready that 4th year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take me one extra semester to say that I'm ready.
That's good. That's good. Adrian, what you say?
I did the same thing. Yeah, I took one extra semester in the summer. I ain't never took a summer class before, but I said, is it worth my sanity trying to fit everybody else what everybody else wants? Like, is it worth me and my sanity? So I said, let me add this extra semester. It's not going to be the end of the world. And I enjoyed it, and I was very shocked. I enjoyed that. So yes, it's not the end of the world to take that extra semester to finish in 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, prophesy, Miss Porter. I shall go to school. Yes. Come on, put that in my spirit. Put that in. You know, I really have been thinking about it because I want to be a journalist. And I've said it, even with this podcast, that we should be having our own magazines, and we should, I'm already a scribe, and I journal on the regular, working on my book now. So I might as well go to school. You know what I'm saying? I might as well do what I do. And so it's really on me. Don't start, y'all. Don't start. Kayla?
I would say, like they said, you do feel like the pressure from your community and everything, just because we've always kind of been good at what we're doing. So everybody always had high expectations for us. But I feel like the most pressure came from the pressure I put on myself. Like, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to, everything I did, like, people didn't even know, but I was doing it just to make me feel better. Like, I had to be in every club. I had to get the good grades. I wanted to be the chemistry major. Didn't nobody care if I was a chemistry major. I went to change my major 20 times, but I didn't, just because I was going to feel bad if I changed it. But, yeah. So I feel like it was just me. Like, I was in my head all the time. Like, if I was getting a C, I wasn't feeling good. And like, people don't care as long as you pass. People didn't really care at all, but it's all in my head. What I was telling myself, like, I needed to do this, and that. And if I wasn't doing this, and that, I wasn't doing nothing. And yeah.
Well, see, you've always been a brainiac anyway. Nobody would know what you was thinking, but you knew what you were thinking. And I can tell when your wheels are turning, but I didn't know what you was thinking about. Like, oh, Kayla's over there. Baby, that's a quiet storm right there, baby. She gonna brew up something. But we need in the world. So we gonna speak that your job coming soon. Now it may not be in Tennessee. So do you want me to pray? I'm just saying. You've been went somewhere, But
we need a chemist in St. Louis, Kayla.
What you say?
We need a chemist in St. Louis University. Just saying. I got you.
Look at him recruiting. He think everybody in St. Louis. But if they do need one, Kayla, I'm just saying, do what you got to do, baby. Just give me another place to go. Praise God. Is there any questions from our chat? I think I saw one question. Yes, journalism does fit me. Yes, I know. Yeah. I've been saying I've been calling myself, what I call myself down there? I'm a personality. That's what I used to say all the time. How do you become rested or secure in who you are? Anybody got the answer to that? Y'all know I can preach on it, but let y'all answer.
For me, it was just redefining and discovering who I was in Christ. I think that helped me a lot. Once I did that, I think then it was a lot easier for me. Before that, I was always perform. My mentality was always perform, be who they want you to be. But when I found out who I was in Christ and who He had called me to be and created me to be, then I feel like it was a lot easier. I was able to breathe because I don't know who I thought I was, but I know when I found out who told me I was, then that's where the security came in.
She said, I don't know who I thought I was, but
I don't know who I was. I really don't.
But it's like that for everyone. You know who people told you were, and you know what other people see in you, but it ain't nothing like knowing for yourself who and what you really called to do. It's nothing like knowing it. What about you two?
I don't know. I feel like you can never be too secure with yourself because I feel like we're always changing. I feel like as long as you're comfortable with change, as long as you're comfortable with growing and knowing that things ain't gonna stay the same. You just have to be comfortable with knowing that you might not be you today, tomorrow. So, and you gotta know like what people think about you, that's not your problem. And you just gotta be comfortable with how you feel about you and what you think about you.
Kayla got bars. She said growing is knowing. Come on. Bars, Kayla. Y'all doing it on tonight. Come on with these bars. Y'all heavy. Y'all heavy tonight. Look at Pastor want to preach. Come on.
No, because I was thinking, like, it wasn't that I need. So let me put it in this perspective. This is the song that I kept on my head, and like we danced to it, Joe. And everything that like happened for me, only thing I could think about was, this is my season. And I would keep saying that, and I was like, okay, this is my season. However, bad things kept happening. I was like, maybe this is not my season. But then I realized that I was shedding things of myself daily. I was learning that this is not what I wanted and this is what I wanted. And whether that was cutting off a person or adding a person to, or stopping this and adding something else, I think that's when I really began to mold into who I really wanted to be. And the first start of that for me was becoming a residential advisor. One thing that I learned, somebody asked me my gift the other day. And I said to myself, I was like, Shamar, what is actually your gift? Because I can talk and I can communicate, but I was like, what is my gift? And I think about to being a residential advisor, my gift is helping others, being there for others. And I think that's how I became rested in myself, of being there for my residents, being there for when we had issues of suicide ideation, or we had these different assault cases on campus. It was being able to be that person that they could lean on for those situations. Mm-hmm. And that's how I secured who I was. I was like, as Kayla said, what everybody else think, oh, well, that literally, it's not my problem. It's not mine at all. You perceive me how you perceive me. But when I walk across that campus, you watching me. I'm not watching you.
Come on, Faith.
So it's just being like secure in that, and the changes happen. Like it changes all the time, but it's like being able to help those people really helped me figure out who I was.
I love it. I love it. And isn't it amazing that there are certain things that we lose every day that we don't think about it because it happens automatically. Mm-hmm. But the settling is when you have to let it go. Mm-hmm. Because if you just think about it, every time you take a shower, you're losing skin, you're losing hair, but we don't think about those things because they naturally happen. But when you have to make the choice to let something go, that's when you can do that and do that with a settled space in you to where and then that's a deep question, baby, because first giving out the guy who's ahead of my life, it depends on what season you in. Okay, yes, they are helping people tonight because depending on what season you in, and I tell people it's okay to change your circle. See, people have issues. Your circle is not like a ring that you put on that you're supposed to keep on forever. Like, depending on what season you in your life, your circle changes. And we have a hard time. We just think, okay, if I got to leave the circle, that don't mean you forsake the people. That means you're transitioning from glory to glory, from faith to faith. That's a transition. Those are level. So when you're level up, you can't carry the folks you used to play with outside, at school time in a real world, adult situation. We not at playtime. This ain't recess no more. We got to grow up. And so, in my transition of moving to North Carolina, I had to learn how to deal and explain and communicate. Listen, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't consider you a friend. But at this moment in my life, what you are presenting is not cultivating what needs to be cultivated at this moment. You're actually turning me into a desert. And I need maturation. So I have to be around those that carry the water. And that's as plainly as I can say it to them. If you can't take what I say, I have to shake that dust and keep on walking because it's necessary. And God may bring you full circle back to those places to help you heal a space in them, help bring them along, walk them through. But if you are so terrified to come out of this same circle that's turning into a cycle, then you will never move. You'll be a rocking chair moving, but ain't going nowhere, not going anywhere. And I think as much issues as we have in life, the issues that we have and the people that have the issues, it's those that are caught in cycles. They in a circle and they don't know how to break out of it. And so the only way they know how to break out of it is to commit something. They're really, if you really think about it, like all the murders, it's an expression. It was a place in them that they needed to break out of and they didn't know how to do it. And they express themselves through whatever act of violence, whether it's upon themselves, whether it's to other people. If you learn how to, and I'm gonna say triage because I'm in a class where we learn how to triage situations, and basically you learn how to think like them. What was their reasoning? When did it go wrong? Maybe I need to be psychologist. I don't know. I be thanking y'all. Praise God.
Joe, with that, you could also do criminology.
I could, because I be looking at CSI stuff and I be knowing who killed
No, Joe. No, Joe.
Never mind. He said, never mind.
No. That is wrong.
Never mind.
But I do like to understand why people do what they do, because it's just not, oh, they just crazy. No, you can't shoot that off, because I'm one decision away from making the same mistake they made. And when you put yourself in that position, you won't be judgy. You'll learn how to take you can walk with people. I love what you said about, I think I'm for people, they can lean on me. That is big, because baby, these folks are some real pretty walls, but you can't hang no pictures on them. I promise you, they so fickle. You get ready to hang up a picture and the whole wall fall down. You be like, you ain't got no studs or nothing, no stability, but they look good. Look real good, baby, but ain't no studs or nothing. You can't, and we need more solid people. Like, I'm being fun, but we need solid people, y'all. We need solid people that will think a thing through. Another question: How or when did each of you each settle on your specific choice of study?
Oh, can I go first?
Yes, you can go first.
President, you always go first.
Okay, so growing up, and Joe knows this, I was so settled in becoming a gynecologist and specializing in women's health. That was what I was set in. It was,
and I was like, "You sure?
Joe kept saying it. Joe kept saying, and everybody was asking, "Is this what you really want to do?" And I kept saying, "Yes, yes."
You got to look at.
But Kayla, yo, they said, "Oh, you got to take chemistry 1." Okay, I got this. Don't remember anything. Couldn't tell you what happened. Couldn't tell you what I did, what nuclear electrons, whatever. Couldn't tell you nothing. And I failed the class, and I said, "Okay, this is not working." And then they said, "Oh, well, let's try botany." Did botany, the study of plants? I don't care that they open and close and take in oxygen and monoxide and whatever else. I couldn't understand the concept.
I almost spit my
I
don't care if they open or close. I don't care, none of that.
But the one thing I kept hearing, Mom was like, "Well, just give it a try." And I realized she wanted me to succeed. She wanted me to continue. But I realized that my GPA was not succeeding. It was and so I didn't say anything. I had already been thinking through that process, but this is where it all changed. I actually came home and went to church, and it was a Wednesday, and Elder Jackie was preaching. And the one thing that I remember her saying was, "Your treasure is whatever you make it and you decide to put in your treasure chest.
Mm.
And for some reason, I was like, whoa, what does she mean? And I remember texting my mama in church and was like, I'm changing my major. And she said, what? And I was like, I'm changing my major. So I officially decided to go with criminal justice. I felt comfortable in it. I felt like that's where I needed to be. Now, I wanted to be a cop. I did. I felt like it was something that I could do. And in society at that moment, I was like, I'm a Black man. I'm going to be a police officer. I can help change the idea, how we think, how we move. But then I realized I was one man. And there was not much that I could do. If I started off in Jackson, Tennessee, or went to Humboldt and worked with my uncles and my cousins, I was like, there's no way that I can do this by myself. But criminal justice felt right for me. And Elder Jackie confirmed it for me. I had already thought about it, but Elder Jackie just confirmed it for me. And I was like, you know what? I can still help people if I change my major. So criminal justice was where I'm at. However, I'm not doing criminal justice, so you see. But I'm just saying, Kayla, your study was what got me first. It told me no.
It was the first indication.
It told me no, and I said yes, and it said no again. I failed chemistry twice.
But you are doing the people a justice because I know you. And if you're recruiting, you are giving all information to help these babies get what they needed. And some of them, you don't know, they may be criminals. They may be right on their way to criminal. And you have justified them and you have changed their trajectory.
I would hope my kids not criminals.
Now, I'm saying, you don't know.
That might have been where they was going to go, but because they...
She got it.
Turned it around. Hello?
You turned it around.
Just right. One encounter.
You're right. Right.
Come on, Holy Ghost. Adrian, how did you say?
I'll go next. I chose psychology. That's what I studied in undergrad. And I knew from being a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club that I wanted to be a psych, like do something regarding psych. I just knew I liked talking to people and I liked helping people through that. And so I remember getting a chance to be very close with some of the people that society in my community that society deemed, or the kids rather, that society deemed, I guess unruly or whatever the case may be. They're wild, they're the people that the community had written off, those kids, and just getting a chance to rub elbows with them and talk to them and hear where they're coming from. And this is me being a teenager as well. Like, I'm a teenager too, but just getting to see these people up close and personal and hearing their stories and hearing this is how they got here. This is why we're here, and seeing their circumstances, that definitely fed into what I decided I wanted to do. I didn't really know how to get there, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I remember my teacher asking me what I wanted to do. And I remember I told her, I think I want to do psychology. I want to tap into the mind of these people that society writes off. That's what I want to do. And then I remember being in that space, I said, children and adolescents, that's what I want to do. And so fast forward to college, I got into my classes and my courses, and I was so nervous that it wasn't going to feel right, but it did. It felt right. And it felt like that's where I was supposed to be. And then I started to get into the courses telling me about careers, and you ain't gonna make no money unless you do this. And you ain't gonna, it don't pay that much if you just stop at your bachelor's. And something just said, go, keep going. That don't matter. You got that. You can do that. And so listening to that's what I want. And then getting in my psych courses and coming to find out, like I said, everybody does psych. Everybody majors in psych. You can get any kind of job doing psychology. And so I said, no, I want to counsel somebody. I want to be a therapist. That's what I want to do. I want to tap into what is up here, and then I want to go a little bit further, and I want to talk to these people. and I want to help them in through the art of conversation. And once I got there, then they were like, oh, you can do all these careers. And I was like, but I want to be a counselor. They were like, but no, you're not going to want to stop at that. You're not going to want to do that. Like, that's for what everybody thinks they're going to do. And I said, but I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. And so things just started happening, falling in place. The internship placement that I was in, meeting people that were psych majors that transitioned into the graduate school, finding out that I didn't have to do in graduate school what I did in undergrad, then meeting certain people, finding out that my psychology background would slide me perfectly into counseling, and taking a counseling course just confirmed that. Intro to clinical counseling, I'll never forget. It showed me that this is what's next. And then God connected me to the people that showed me how to get there. So then I ended up enrolling in the clinical mental health counseling program that had come to find out I was at the school already that had the best track for me.
Wow.
It was crazy. I was ready to go. I asked my mama, she was scared. I was going to go to Dallas. But literally only 2 schools I could find, and it was one of them was the school that I was at. And so it just all fell into place. And so now I'm here in the counseling program, doing what I want to do, being in my classes. And although it's a lot, being happy and feeling like I'm right where I need to be. So yes, psychology and then clinical mental health counseling with a child adolescent track.
Okay, come on. She running like a track star. I just felt that. Come on, Kayla.
Okay, so I don't really have a story about how I decided on my major. I said I was going to be a chemistry major at freshman orientation, and I just ran with it, and I stuck with it to the end. I knew I wanted to go into forensics, and I needed a science degree for that. I didn't like any of the other sciences. Really don't like chemistry either at the end, but so I just ended up in chemistry.
So what
I should have called you, Kayla.
You should have called me. I could have helped you.
Yeah, she could have tutored you online.
I know, sad,
but true.
It's them what is it they call the hard sciences that get you every time.
You talking about the weed out classes. They knew I didn't want to be a doctor.
That's the hard science. They call it hard science and soft science. See, I'm in the soft science.
Baby, I'm just soft. I promise you.
They didn't tell me the science. They didn't tell me the hard of the soft. They said science. They said science.
When I first started my major, probably all the Gen Chem classes, we had like 300 students in my class. Once I got to the end, it was a good 30 of us.
Weed them out one by one.
Weed out classes.
Baby,
they got me.
I can always take some to church, baby. They separated the wheat from the tail, baby. And I probably would have been a tear. I would have been a tear.
Me too.
Take me out now, Lord. I can't.
But it's so funny that you say that because, like, starting off being bio pre-med, I was the only Black kid for several of those classes. My first week of classes, I was the only Black kid. I was like, oh, I like this. It's going to be challenging. Challenged me a little too much. I was okay.
Hey, it's a song that says millions didn't make it. Come on.
But I was one of the ones. Woo!
You made it.
God, on today. These children gonna make me shout up in here. Y'all know I like giving them glory. Y'all know I like it. But I'm so glad you guys came on today. This has been an awesome show. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of each of you. And I know you guys are going, this is just the beginning. I can't wait to see where y'all end up, honey. Because this baby gonna be forensic scientist, I just need her to do what she do in case anything happen to me, Kayla. I want you on my case.
I got you.
I'm just saying.
Kayla, I got your backup. I'm your backup. I got a criminal justice to grab you.
And then I need you to check the mind of the people. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm gone, it's gonna be a loss. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a loss. Need to counsel these folks. They're gonna need counseling after I'm gone. Reaping with her. They're gonna be
not the weep. Not the weep.
Yes, sir. I am so y'all better give these good people a hand clap of praise. These folks, They is doing it. You hear me? They is doing it. And I am so, 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 so proud of each of them, how they are. I mean, they're growing in strides. Man, let me tell you, I ain't even gonna cry. They say I cry every show. I ain't gonna do it today. I'm not gonna cry today. But I am so proud of each of you. And I will be talking to you, Miss Adrian, because I just feel like there is a relationship coming forth. And I love each of you. Y'all know what? Y'all need to come to the mountains and just chill out on the couch for real. I need y'all to come to the mountains. Yes, Shamar, come to the mountain. Stop there playing. Your face changed. Yes. His face completely changed when I said come to the mountain. He looked puzzled. Don't look puzzled. Ask Darnell. You will love it. Everybody like the mountains. Huh? But yes, this was an awesome show. I am so glad that each of you decided to come. You guys are valuable. You're valuable in the land and you are valuable in the kingdom, each and every one of you. And I appreciate each and every you and all of your thought processes. I know y'all have some grown folks tonight. We aren't here for the cheering on tonight, but y'all have the grown folks because I know y'all help me. Don't say nothing when I slide y'all that little paper. Joe has been accepted. Don't even play with me. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about cheering. Y'all just wait for the text messaging, because I'm gonna send it to you. Again, if you guys would like to see more shows like this, please, by all means, because it takes money to do things of this nature. Please, so at $ Rare Image 26. Yeah, we are doing some things. We are making some strides. Remember, we do have a radio show. Don't forget, Vision Radio. 365 live. We on that thing. We need you to download that app. And if you know anybody, any artist that has any music, please let us know. We can put them in rotation and they will get residual payment for being on the radio station. And so we are so blessed that God is blessing us, and we're able to bless and give a platform to young people just like this each and every day that are valuable treasures. That don't look, man. Don't look, because they some treasure, baby. We treasure hunting this thing. That's what we doing. Uh-oh. We're Rare Image. We look for treasures in odd places, and we are finding them. You hear me? And we got a bunch of gems sitting right here, and I just appreciate it. If you have a topic that you would like to see happen on this conversation platform, please email us at rareimage26@gmail.com. We do answer back. If you have any prayer requests, you can inbox us that, and also email us that. If you want to know how to get a segment on our radio station, we do have some plans for you. Email us that. We will get back with you. Is there anything else anybody would like to leave some lasting comments before I pray everybody out?
I just want to say thank you for having me on the show tonight. Thank you for this platform and what you are doing for the community and people our age, people beyond our age. Like, thank you so much for it. And I'm so honored to be in the presence of all of you amazing and wonderful people.
I ain't gonna cry. I ain't gonna cry, because this is what we're here for. This is what we desire to see. Those who may not ever. Now I know Kayla, she ain't gonna just go live like that, but somebody need to hear what she needed to say. You know what I'm saying? Shamar ain't either. He be on the road. He not trying to go live and see the people. But he's people. So this is why we here. We want y'all to see that it is still some good things happening in the land. Everything's not all bad, guys. There's a lot of bad things happening, but we want to shine the light on the good things that are happening. And it's happening right here in our community. Come on. It's all about community with us. That is it. And you guys have definitely inspired me to pursue my purpose. Come on, Holy Ghost. Y'all help me on today. I appreciate it. So let me pray you guys.
Submit an application.
All right.
Just go ahead and submit your application. I got you.
Okay. I receive. Okay. He said submit the application. I receive it. All right. He said submit. He tried to recruit me. Y'all ain't moving. I just moved. I ain't got time for this. But But let me pray you guys out so y'all can have the rest of y'all night, because we've been on here a little bit over an hour. Y'all didn't think so. I know the conversation just going. God, I thank you. I bless you even now for the refreshing that is happening in the land right now. I thank you, God, for the just fresh wind of inspiring. God, we thank you that people are being inspired tonight to go a little further than they did. We thank you. We ask you to bless each and every young person that is on this live right now, God, and for the words that they released on tonight, may you give them back a harvest, God, that is so enormous. Oh God, they're not able to receive it all, but I thank you even now that you have impressed upon them, oh God, just another level in the earth. I thank you, God, that every word that proceeds out of their mouth is weighty and it creates an indention in the earth that can never be duplicated. I honor you and I glorify you for each and every person that decided to go live, to come on our live. God, I ask you to bless them infinitely. God, I thank you for the wisdom that was released on this live tonight. I pray that it pierced somebody's heart and it opened their mind and their perception. God, I thank you for the lens swapping. We swapped it back to their original intent and they were able to see clearer than they ever have before. We bless you in the name of Jesus. We pray. Amen. And thank God. We love you guys. We love you. Don't forget, we'll be on Friday, same time, same station at 7:00. Peace out. Hit it, Mr. DJ.